Good morning. So, what day is today? Hump Day! It's also my birthday. Happy birthday to me. So, you guys notice that I've worn this like 3 days in a row? Maybe it's time. So, every time we have a birthday, I think it's a good time to just kind of stop and reflect on the whole big picture. Sunday has always been kind of our big picture day, but birthdays are a time to stop and look back and assess and say, okay, am I headed in the right direction? Am I doing what I want to be doing? A lot of our life is spent worrying about things that at the end of the day, we're not going to really care about. Let's face it, when you're on your deathbed, most of the stuff that you spent your life worrying about, you're going to look back and go, why did I spend my life worrying about that? I always look at 9/11, the people that were in those buildings and on those airplanes and knew what their outcome was going to be. There was only one thing that they wanted to do. They wanted to talk to the people that they love and tell them that they loved them. That's it. That's all that they wanted to do. They didn't care about who caused what happened. They didn't say, go get those bastards. They didn't care about their money. They didn't care about their stuff. All they cared about was to be able to communicate to those they really wanted to talk to, those that they loved most in their life. So when you have a birthday, I think it's a great time to take a look and say, am I doing the things I want to be doing? Steve Jobs said that he got up every morning and asked himself, am I doing what I want to be doing today? And if 3 or 4 days in a row he said no, then he started doing something different. It's like, okay, well, it's time for a change. It's time to do something different than where I'm headed. So you want to be able to make it so that, you look back at 65, 75, 105, whatever the number is, and say, I did everything that I came here to do. Remember, we've talked about the rocking chair test. You want to sit on that rocking chair, on that porch, on that house, wherever it is, and be able to look back and say, I did everything that was on my list. I'm content. I'm content with what I did in this life and what I came here to do. So I think a birthday is a great time to take that evaluation. Take a little time for yourself and then figure out, first of all, give yourself credit for the things that you've done. We don't nearly do enough of that. So look back at the things that you've accomplished and the things that you have done and give yourself credit. And then remember where it is that you want to head. Okay, now that I've done all of those things, here's where I want to go with my life. So keep that focus. We can lose that big picture and get caught up in our day-to-day, let's face it, a lot of times nonsense. Now, sometimes the day-to-day stuff is getting us towards that big picture, but that's what you got to make sure of. That's why planners and goal-setting systems are so great, because each week you look at, where am I headed? Okay, now you organize your stuff, and then the little crap, the grocery store and taking the things to the dry cleaners and all that gets done, but it gets done after you do the things that get you closer to your goals. It gets done after you budget. It gets done after you meal prep. It gets done after you exercise. It gets done after you, meditate and read and do all of those things that we know that we need to do on a daily and on a weekly basis. So happy birthday to me. And I'm going to take the day to take some time and assess and say, okay, where am I headed? Am I doing everything that I want to do? Am I doing everything right? Am I headed in the direction that I want to head? And then I'm going to take the time to spend time with the people that I care most about, communicate with my friends around the world, and then communicate with my family. I hope you do the same on your next birthday, and I hope you sit back and really think to yourself, where do I want to be when all of this ends? 20 years from now, we're going to arrive. The question is, how? Are you going to arrive 20 years and be in a position that you're proud of? Or are you going to arrive in 20 years and go, God, I wish I would have, I wish I should have, I wish I'd have done this, I wish I'd have done that, I should have done this, I should have done that. Instead of shoulding all over ourselves, plan. The difference between the people that create their outcomes and the people that don't is simply that they plan, they schedule it. They put it down on paper, they figure out when they're going to make it happen, they figure out when they're going to do the little steps, and then before you know it, they've created the outcomes that they're looking for. It's usually not talent, it's usually not ability, it's usually not location, it's usually desire, and that one person planned and did the little things every day, and so they created the results, and the other person didn't. And it'll create two completely different lives. So take the opportunity to think about, where do I want to be in 10 or 20 years, and what do I got to do today in order to get myself there? And then just take those little steps every day. Just like that book, Atomic Habits, told us, take those little steps every day, and the little things will become big things. And before you know it, you'll look back and go, wow, I'm pretty proud of that. I'm pretty proud that I built that. I'm pretty proud that I did that. I'm pretty proud that I created that. And that way, when you're on that rocking chair and you're 80, 90, 120, you can look back and say, I did everything I came here to do. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you very much for watching. Enjoy today. We're all in this together. Let's take care of each other.